Good morning, my friends. Today, it's a nice gray, snowy day. That means it's probably not that cold outside, but who knows? It might be pretty cold. Last night was pretty friggin' cold. I definitely underestimated the the temperature outside yesterday. But I did have a pretty extensive day yesterday. I had to go to the bank, deal with some stuff there. Took a while. I also had a Mandarin class. I'm not sure if many of you know, but I am learning how to speak Mandarin for purposes of basically in case the Chinese take over the world is the main reason why. You never know. Um, but, I think it's also an interesting language. And I think in terms of like a practical language to learn, it's probably the most important, I feel, like at this current point in time. And another thing that was very important yesterday was I got a new phone. This is my new phone that I'm using. It's a flip phone. Not doing this to be a hipster of any kind or to feel like, I'm super cool for having a flip phone. The main reason is because of the fact that I've been basically addicted to my smartphone for, very much a large portion of my life. I would probably say, I'm trying to think when I got my first smartphone. I did have like an iPod Touch when I was younger. I remember when that came out. That was around 2009, I think. So it's been almost 10 years since I've been sort of addicted to my phone. And that was sort of the time I got Facebook and all that. And I still use Facebook, obviously, and Twitter, and I still like go on Instagram, although I can't post, and it's not as intuitive. I find that the concept of the smartphone is very like it's very distracting just in terms of everything you do in life. I still have my social media, which is its own addiction on its own, but I can only access it now if I'm near a computer or I'm going to a computer somewhere. I can't bring it with me everywhere I go anymore, which is why I got this. So now anytime I go outside, I can still connect with people. I can still call people. They can call me. They can text me if they want. But any access to Facebook, Twitter, any of that is essentially gone. So, and that to me is like a sense of like actual freedom. And there's been some detractors of mine that have been against my notion of going off the smartphone, saying that there are valuable things that a smartphone can bring. And while that may be true, one of the biggest things for me actually is the fact that I won't have GPS or Google Maps or anything like that, so I can't get directions for anything, which is actually probably going to be more of a problem down the line. But the benefits of not constantly being glued to my phone, for me, completely outweigh the negatives. I mean, just like I just realized like how much time people spend on their phones. This isn't a thing that's like a generational thing. Like, oh yeah, like millennials are always on their phone. It's like old people too are always on their phones. Like people, pretty much anyone under the age of 70 is already like into that ingrained system. And I've noticed when I'm with family, we're all kind of sitting around, and it's like with family members that I might not have seen in a while, and everyone's on their phone, mom, dad, grandma, everyone. And it's sort of, yeah, it's sad to see. It's just kind of like, oh, there's less that we can do. But I mean, now that I have a flip phone, it's like there's no opportunity for me to sort of step out of the room, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what a smartphone sort of does in a public sense. It's like when you're with a group of people, it's like it gives you that excuse to basically say, all right, I'm gonna step out for a few minutes and just look at my phone for a little bit and not be in this room, which I think is it's a problem. And it's like I see some people at work, right? I see customers, people on dates, and you see these couples and they're just on their phones. It's like a very much of a, a typical thing that like a dad would complain about this generation, but it really does happen. And it's kind of like, what's the point of going on the date if you're not even talking to each other, you're not engaging with each other? I didn't even do that when I had the phone in the first place. Like if I'm going on a date with a girl, I want to be there, and to me that's like a more of a reflection of like, these people don't even give a shit about each other. It's like, why are you even a couple? Why are you even going out? It's a bit bizarre. There's usually some ulterior motives, I guess. Maybe the girl just wants the free meal, the guy maybe just wants sex, and they're just sort of dealing with each other in the meantime, and they have their phones to help them do that, which I think is the real problem. It's not actually the phone, it's just the fact that they don't care about each other, and the phone is letting that happen. The phone is giving them an excuse to say, okay, I can manage being with you so long as I don't actually have to interact with you. I can just stare at my phone. Once you get rid of the phone, it's like, fuck, now I actually have to engage with this person, actually have to talk to this person, and then you realize, oh, I don't actually like this person. Why am I even here? This isn't worth it. Which to me I think is the most benefit of not having a smartphone. It actually gives you a test of who your real friendships are. Of course, it's only been one day since I haven't had it. It's probably going to be it's going to be difficult. I know just this morning I had problems because I woke up, for the full day yesterday. I was outside the whole day until like, 8 hours, and I wasn't connected, and I was, fine. This morning, the real issue was waking up, getting out of bed, and I'm so used to just, grabbing my phone, being the first thing I see during the day, just scrolling through useless bullshit. And that's my routine. And and then I woke up this morning, and it's like I was frozen almost. I was just sitting, I was literally just sitting on the foot of my bed, staring at the wall. I was like, fuck, what do I do this morning? Because I'm so used to that same routine, and now it's just not there. I mean, I can look at my flip phone, but there's nothing to look at. There's a web browser on this phone, but it's so awful to use. It's like the most impractical way to go on the internet that it's like it's not even worth it. It's like it's not. If I want to go on Twitter on this phone, it would take me like at least 10 minutes to actually get to the site because I have to type it in, right? That's the other thing that's sort of an annoying feature, is having to text people. But I guess that's also a good thing, because now it'll actually encourage me to call people instead, which, like people don't talk to each other anymore, but it's, I think there's some merit in terms of making phone calls, in terms of actually calling people instead of writing like these big paragraphs of text, which I don't really want to do anymore. I'd rather just call the person, which is a lot easier. But anyways, I'll keep people on tabs of how I'm doing with this with the flip phone. So far it's okay. I'm doing okay. I feel better about it. Definitely when I'm outside and I'm not doing anything, it's sort of like there are moments when I'm like, I want to take out my phone, and like it's like I don't know what you call that. It's like a Pavlov type of thing. It's like time to check my phone, and then I take out my phone, and it's like, oh, there's nothing to look at. This is nothing, unless someone actually texts me, which not many people do text me. It's always through like a messenger, through email. I can't even, this has an email app, I can't even access that. It's like God is like telling me, like, no, you're going to be disconnected. It has an email app. I've tried connecting to it, like just to set it up, and it just does not work. So yeah, it's a bit strange. So anyway, that's all I really have to say. Um, the funny thing is, though, when I went to the phone store, I talked to the woman in front and I was like, I want to get a flip phone. I was like trying to explain to her, but she already knew what I wanted. She was like, oh, yeah, there's quite a few people actually, trying to cut off from social media and everything from their smartphone. And I was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's almost like a trend that's happening. Um, so I feel like, this is sort of a movement that's probably going to start taking root with more and more people because I think it's good to like cut off from the smartphone because it's really not useful at all. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually more of a distraction on your life. And I think that's going to become more prevalent as people get older. I mean, it's basically a drug. Um, there's a concept that people think like, oh, I can just delete the apps, but you still have a smartphone. It takes 10 seconds to download the apps again. So it's like, or you can just go on the web browser and go on those sites individually anyway. So what does deleting the apps do? It doesn't do anything. You gotta get rid of the source. You gotta get rid of it. It's like if you're a heroin junkie and you're carrying heroin in your pocket and you're saying, oh, I'm gonna quit heroin, but I'm still gonna keep the heroin, just in case I need it. That's stupid. You get rid of it. So anyway, that's all I have to say, and I hope you have a wonderful day.